but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. Hey, it's me again, but this time I'm in a commercial. The reason I'm in a commercial? Well, we sell stuff here. Wouldn't it be, don't you think this is a great visible spot for your commercial? Wouldn't you like your commercial to be here? Instead of me talking to you, I could be talking to your clients. We could be selling your stuff, hawking your wares. It's easy to do. If you want to find out how, email Steve at radioweedshow.com. That's RADIOWEEDSHOW.com.
The following presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences.
Listener discretion is advised.
A vicious attack in a quiet rural area.
Some guy shoved a shotgun in my gut and told me to get on the floor.
Tonight it's clear thieves targeted this man's home for a reason that has police all over Metro Detroit concerned. Good evening. Medical marijuana growers have become much more common around Metro Detroit, and thieves are well aware of that.
A Monroe County man with a valid license to grow is learning the hard way not to keep those plants in view.
That's right. The attack happened around 3:30 this morning at a home on County Line Road in Mylyn. Our Sean Lay spoke with the man beaten up by thieves. And Sean, he says he was asleep at the time.
He does, and tonight investigators are telling me, Carmen, that all this is drug-related, and that victim, you're right, he says it is drug-related, but he says it's medical marijuana-related. Fresh home from hours at the hospital.
Oh, there they are right there.
Tim Riley is showing off sutures in his head, injuries from a vicious pistol whipping during what Riley says was a terrifying home invasion. It happened 3:30 this morning on this quiet Monroe County road when everyone inside here was sleeping.
Somebody kicked in the front door.
That somebody was a masked gunman. He had a team with him. 2 other men, also armed, also wearing masks.
Some guy shoved a shotgun in my gut and told me to get on the floor.
Not only were the men armed with guns, they had a plan, coming armed with restraints.
I handcuffed my hands behind my back, and he kept saying, "Where's the money?"
That's when Riley says he was pistol whipped. The trio also zip-tied his son's hands and ankles. The gunmen didn't find money, but they did make off with marijuana and lots of it. A trail of pot leaves can be seen down the driveway, and several mature marijuana plants are being grown near the house. They were clearly hacked in half and hauled off by the gunmen. We asked Riley why he has so much marijuana.
I'm a caregiver for somebody else.
Sheriff's investigators left those plants behind and confirm they're seeing a spike in medical marijuana growers being targeted for violent crime.
Pretty mad. I just want to see justice be done.
Back live, I'd like you to take a look at your screen. This is a car that was stolen from that home in this home invasion. 2003 Mazda Protege, that's the car. It's black. It's a 4-door Michigan plate 2JK S95. Investigators are out looking for that and those gunmen right now. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
And Sean, Monroe County Sheriff's investigators just left those marijuana plants in the ground and didn't take them as evidence?
You know, we asked them about that, and they say all this, as you might expect, still under a lot of investigation.
All right, our Sean Lay reporting for us live.
Countdown to launch. It's the Medical Marijuana
Launch commit.
Radio Show.
Guidance is internal. Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. Power cleared.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show is a production of the Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio.
Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
Hey. You tuned in to that Medical Marijuana Show. 855-MMM Radio.
Keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal, keep it legal.
Okay, Steve Steve is the host with the co-host Denise. Starting at noon Saturdays every week. Yes, we keeping you legal. Legislators and lawyers, doctors and the growers. The show is for the people. Michigan medical marijuana, no hassle. We talk about anything, any issue we can handle. Call us up and let us know what is on your mind. And make sure when you do it legal every time. Hey. You tuned in to that medical marijuana show. 855-MMM Radio.
Welcome to another Medical Marijuana Radio Show for Saturday. This is November 19th, 2011. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it's the end of November already? I really can't. Turkey Day's just around the corner. Are you going to gobble up some turkey for Thanksgiving? I was hoping it was going to be a sunny day here in Detroit. It's not. Wherever you're at, I hope it's sunny. We got the clouds here in Detroit. Normally, 855-MMM Radio would be the number to call. Today, with the 855 numbers off. We're still having trouble moving it, getting it moved. If you want to call the show today, there's a different number you can call. It's just a regular landline number. It's 1-810-423-2350. It's 810-423-2350. You know what I should do while we're on the show here is send out a blast to the people. I've been on the email recently, and I've also been on the Facebook. Well, let's pull up the Facebook. Normally I do this show live on 1310, Detroit's Progressive Talk. Monday. I'm used to doing the midday show now. Good Lord. On 1310, Saturdays from noon until 1. That's why we're on at noon, guys. Good God, Steve. Get it together. If you've never been a part of the show before, you're in for a treat. If you have been a part of the show before, you'll recognize that intro. It's an old intro. The music jingle we use every week, but just in front of the music jingle, we try to use a fresh, up-to-date news piece. Being that I've been so busy working this morning show, our midday show now. We moved it to the middays. People are on the phones more. It's a little more lively. I have to use a lot of taped pieces during the morning show because nobody was up. So, this is just going to roll as normal. This is a unique thing. I don't do this show in this format during the weekday. We've only got it's a 1-hour show today. That's all you get on a Saturday. But usually it's so packed full of information, and I'm going to have to move right along on this show. Because, the whole Monday through Friday thing, we got 4 long hours to fill. We got lots of time to talk about stuff. If you want to call and get on the show, now's the time. 810-423-2350. I don't have any scheduled guests. I'll make it a free plug Saturday, though. I think it's important that people get a chance to plug themselves. I've been doing that all week on this show. So normally just introduce to you right during this segment what's coming up during the show. And I want to tell you that there's a lot of stuff I found out about yesterday. Gosh, I wish I could get Dennis on the phone. Maybe I'll see if I can give him a call in the next segment. The commercial break won't be that long away from now. I haven't had a chance to peek at it, but I have really no way of gauging when the commercial break rolls around. I know we started a few minutes late, about 5 minutes late or so today. And then we, threw in a couple of commercials before the show actually began. I was busy talking to Brandon Lee from the Ant Farm. Brandon's headed out to, someplace in Atlanta, I think. Getting ready to go. He's talking about advertising. Hey, Brandon advertises on this show. You know why? Because it's effective for him. You should think about it, too. We made a deal with the Buzz News. I'd love to get Dan from the Buzz News on the phone. He's off in Amsterdam right now checking out the High Times thing. But the news and what's coming up on the show today? Oh, boy. First off, Colorado got raided by the feds. A bunch of guys in Colorado went down early this week. And then also, if you look at the news, it didn't really hit anywhere. I just found out about this late yesterday, but sometime I believe Wednesday afternoon, a whole bunch of stuff went down in Washington State. 9 places went down. 9 dispensaries in Colorado went down to the feds. Eric Holder digging deep into the federal pocketbook to prosecute medical marijuana people, even though Mr. Obama and the Obama administration said that was not going to happen. So this is what we're contending with. That's the big news. Even closer to home. Closer to home, Allen Park. Oh, we should get Denise on the phone. Denise is normally my co-host on this show. Denise has been off working with her kids and taking a little break, I think. I hope we can get her back because Denise is a business attorney, and I think it's one of her places in Allen Park there, a wellness center. 6 o'clock Wednesday. Bam! It's not the feds. It was the local guys, the local task force. Bam! Close those guys down. You see Bill Schuette running all over the state doing seminars this week. Couple of them. Saginaw and Livonia this week. And towards the end of the month on the, 30th and 31st or 29th and 30th, somewhere in there. Right at the end of the month. He's going to do two more, one in Traverse City and one in Saginaw. And, or Kalamazoo, I'm sorry. Saginaw, Kalamazoo, Livonia, and Traverse City are the cities. The two farther away cities he's doing at the end of the month. The closer down here, I think he did, this week. He wasn't personally present. We got an inside mole. A couple of them managed to make their way in. These meetings were only available to government officials and news guys. Well, news guys were cast aside. No news allowed. You got to be a government employee or a law enforcement guy. The seminar's called Clearing the Air, Implementing the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. I've got PDFs of this stuff. Do you want to see what the Attorney General is spreading around this state through the Michigan Municipal League and other likely companions pairing up to collude against you? Medical marijuana patients, caregivers, businessmen, industry professionals. They're trying to get you. They're going to rail against you if they can. And this show is here to try and keep you safe, keep you informed. If you don't know, you can't act. And I'd say it's important to do both, know and act. And that's why we're here. I mean, this is the only reason we exist on this show. Look, we got cameras galore. Look at that ugly mug on the camera there. Can you see me? I think you'd rather hear me. I should just put the logo back up. Put the logo back up and nobody cares. I keep the video open because this is a podcast. You can see us on RadioWeedShow.com, on Ustream. I'll throw it up later on the YouTube. This show can end up on the YouTube. The daily weekday show has music in it. They won't let me put it up there. Trying to get to where we can play little pieces during the morning show or the midday show now during the week. Love to put your radio shows on. Also have a recent update from Rick Thompson. Maybe we can get Rick Thompson on the phone. I'd love to get Rick on the phone. Rick has been a fabulous contributor to the show. Now, we're looking for some regular guys. Also fishing for some guys. Maybe we'll talk about this during the show today. Fishing for a show producer. If you want to produce this show, help us get together guests, help us handle calls, help us do this kind of stuff. Somebody's got to do it. It can't be all me. It can't. So if you want to do that, there's an opening. We're going to hold some auditions for a show producer. Then also, I'd love to get a news person in here, a regular person just doing news a couple times during the show. I think that's important. Look, I got a visitor from the cat. Look at that. I bet you that doesn't happen at the 1310 studios. Look at it. He just jumped right up on my back. Anyway, it's the show open, Scooter. You can't do this now. Can you get down, please? I think he's hungry. Scooter, he's just taking up residence on my shoulder like a parrot. Can you see this cat? I got the lights off over here. Look at this. I'll give you the close-up view. Look at the cat. Can you look at him up there? He just jumped right up. Anyway, am I boring you yet? I hope not. He jumped back down. Good. Scooter likes to, I think he's jealous. I do the show and he gets jealous. I should turn the lights on so that, because this one you can see me on. It's darker. Good, you can't see me there. It's all dark. It shows you how dark it is. I told you that the thing's just going to happen when it happens, and there it happened. We're coming up on a commercial break. 810-423-2350. It's the Medical Marijuana Show, the Medical Marijuana Radio Show on RadioWeedShow.com. Please give us a call, folks. Participate in the show. Don't you dare go away.
Got something to say?
Call now toll free. 855-MMM-radio. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Bee Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Bee Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. Hey, Steve Greene here for the medical marijuana certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville.
Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
It's the Medical Marijuana Show. It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Boy, I got to make sure I get that right. Doing some posting on the Facebook right now, letting people know we're on the air. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Got to see if we can get Rick Thompson on the phone. Got to see if I can get him on the phone. I don't know if he's around. If he's Rick's in the know, and he recently posted some stuff that I'd like to give him an update here. Give you an update on what's going on with the schedule. There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, it seems like the schedule is bigger now than I've seen it in the recent past. Maybe it's not current events, but just places where people can go. I know the radio shows have been promoted. Let's see if we can get Rick on the phone. Meanwhile, I'm going to post this to Smoke Something and Talk Some Mad Crap. See if they can get those guys. See if we can get Rick on the phone. He's probably going to be like, I can't talk right. I mean, his voicemail, I know.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Rick, there you are.
Hey, I've noticed that you're not on 1310 AM.
Not today. Not today. We couldn't afford it this week.
Okay.
So we're making the best of it. We're still doing the stream.
Great. Good.
So, we're holding our place over there. It's not like we're going to go away. It's just occasionally, with the Attorney General spooking everybody away, it's hard to get guys, to understand what's going on. Hey, should we advertise? Should we not advertise? I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Absolutely true. We all of us in the media in regards to this industry have the same struggles right now.
I had to take the sweatshirt off. I was sweating to death. I couldn't hear you for a second there, Rick.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just saying we're all having the same struggles.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys doing that kind of stuff. I mean, it is what it is, but like I said, this is the handy thing about having the internet available. We're not going away anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that you had posted some stuff, some recent calendar events.
Yes, I did.
You got a chance to maybe talk about what's coming up? Because I think it's an important thing to promote these ideals.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, there's a couple of new things that I was just brought to my attention just recently that I've added to the calendar as well. So there's even more than what's currently reflected on it. Okay,
so what is it that I saw that we got Medical Mike's show up there. There's a new show up there. Is there something new that I was not aware of? There's some other show. Let me see if I can pull up the. There's some show that I'm not aware of. I'd like to know about who they are. Trying to find the reference here. You sent it in the. Let me see. Good Lord, I have to find it on.
There's the Planet Green Trees radio program.
Know about that one.
All right. right.
And then there's Smokey Cush's show. I don't see you putting Smokey's show on there.
Updated calendar of events. Let's see right here.
Have you heard about Smokey over there in Muskegon?
No, I've not, and I would love to put him on there. Straight Up with Vic and Roger, Planet Green.
Yeah, that's
Trees.
Straight Up with Vic and Roger. That's the one I didn't know about.
Oh my gosh! Straight Up, Vic and Roger have been broadcasting continually since early or medium 2010, I believe.
Well, there you go.
Yep, they've been doing it on the internet for a long time.
It's something new to me. I'd have to check out the Vic and Roger show. I haven't even heard of who's Vic and Roger.
Well, that would be Victor Vicious, who's been a columnist with 4M Magazine since our inception. He's had a column in every one of our magazines. And Roger Mawfort, who is of the Jackson County Compassion Center. They have the farmers market there.
Wow. You see, look, you learn something new every day. I thought I knew everything. I don't. Sometimes I act like I know everything, but I just don't. I'm really an information sponge looking to pick stuff up. So when I find a tidbit like this, I'm like, hey, turn me on to something that other people know about.
Now, and just to give you a little bit more information on this, Victor Vicious has been involved in this movement since before it was a movement. And in fact, he attends a lot of the court cases up in the upper Michigan, upper lower peninsula area. The King case, Colonic, some of these other things.
Really?
Yep. All of these different cases that he attends or talks to those folks. So he's a wealth of information about things happening in the northern part of the lower peninsula.
Wow. Well, I'm going to have to get with him and talk to him for sure. Look, I've talked to Smokey. I've talked to Michael Camorn. I've talked to, of course, the guys at Genesee Triple C at Flint Talk Radio. In fact, I did a little segment with those guys on the air the other day. While they were on the air, I was on the air, and so I called them up and taped a segment with them. It's weird because it's almost like a Skyping thing. It is a network, You can see them, they can see you, the audience can see both of you. It's kind of pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually that's great. That Skype type of a broadcast is more of a unique thing than we normally do. I enjoy the Skype thing. I think I look good on television. I think that's much better than my radio voice as my television appearance. A lot of us are like that, right, Steve? A lot of us have that attitude.
Well, no, I'm actually the other way around. I look better on the radio.
Well, you can say that about yourself, but I think when we are actually able to deliver a message verbally or visually, rather, where there's even if there's not direct interaction eye to eye, when you see how someone formulates the words and their facial expressions, you can get a determination as to the honesty and the integrity of the statement that's being made. So it's much more real when you have information transfer via that type of a format.
I got to turn the light on. Hang on here, Rick. Turn the light on so people can see what's going on. I took the visuals out, so here we go. There, now I actually have a face. I actually have a face. You can see me now. While you were talking about that, Rick, I looked up on the screen, and I just had the logo up, so people couldn't see me talking to you. They could just see the logo. So I was taking corrective action.
Let's get you back in the picture there. All right.
So you know what I need to do when I do these kinds of interviews? I need to, next time I see you, get a snapshot of you. And then that way when I do a telephone interview, I can put your picture up with your name underneath it, and then they know who they're talking to. That's a great way to underscore what you're talking about.
You got it. And I will, of course, I have lots of pictures of myself at different events. I'd be happy to send you one of those.
Well, I think I should get some standard, show show poses. You know what I mean? Just everybody looks the same. They're in the same pose.
Okay, so there's no individuality. Oh, I see what you're doing.
Well, that
so
way, that's your special show pose.
Ah, nice. So let's update my calendar with the information on Smokey's program. When does that take place?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let me pull up the Smokey Kush information. I've got him on the website, so let me see if I can start there. Let's go to radioweedshow.com. Clicking on that. I try not to do this because what's going to happen? Okay, yeah. At least the commercial's not going to play. See, when you hit the Ustream, the commercial plays, and then if it goes across my screen, everybody has to listen to it. So I try not to do that to people. So go in there.
Broadcast from Muskegon?
Yeah, he does his show. It's in the Muskegon area. Let me see. I'm just trying to click on it here. 420. It's the 420 radio show with the Hidden Stash Show. 420 radio. He calls it WTHC. I think it's kind of funny. It says it looks like they can't find the page right now. What's going on with Smokey's page? Look, he does his show on Tuesdays. And I don't know if I think it's probably live, but then you can go and find it. If you go to radioweedshow.com, you've got a computer still, right, Rick?
I'm typing on an PC.
Yeah, go to radioweedshow.com, click on the related internet show links, and you'll find all that stuff. The Planet Green Trees, you'll find Flint Talk Radio, 420 Radio, Hidden Stash is the top one. And then further on down, there's Marijuana Radio, which is a national show. And then there's some kind of show out of Amsterdam, I think. We got that up there. And of course, I've got the Normal Live show. I haven't put a link up that yet. The Normal Live does a show nationally out of L.A. every week. I'd like to put a link to that up. I can find them listed on iTunes as a podcast. If you want to download the Normal Live show, that's easy to do. Incidentally, now that I've said that, I've got to tell people that Bob and I are working feverishly on getting this show listed on iTunes. So it's a tough process. There's a lot of crap you got to do to get it there. But once it sees it in iTunes, anybody anywhere can download it. Would be available there on iTunes pretty quick. So the 420, if you click on the 420 show, the Hidden Stash show, I know it's on Tuesdays. I know he does this show on Tuesdays because usually on Wednesday or Thursday I'll get a link. Let me see if he just didn't post that in the Facebook. I'm sure he did. He usually does. Every week he posts when he does his show, he'll put a link on my Facebook page to his show, and
Instead of talking about negotiating the internet while we both do our work independently and silently, let's talk about the wealth of information transfer we got here available to us, though, Steve.
Yes.
We just listed 5 or 6 programs for the state that are available to listeners free of charge for them to tune in. Not only can they get information, but they can also decide whose voice more directly reflects their personal feelings.
Sure.
If they want to tune into cultivation-devoted radio stations, there are some programs in regards to that. If they'd like to attend some meetings that are cultivation-related, they can do that as well.
Right.
So participation in the medical marijuana movement is not limited to just people wanting to gain different political goals or freedoms.
Right. I think it's
advocacy is practiced on every one of these programs. Also,
it's awesome that you have this access. It's awesome that also people are willing to make these kinds of shows. These shows are very difficult to put together, and to keep track of, and especially if you're just I don't know how many of these other guys do this show just on their own, but that's kind of how I'm doing this now. It's kind of me, myself, and I. I'm doing the show actually out of the place that it's the same place that Mike Rowe's located. So I don't want to do that. I kind of want to keep them separate. You must be at work, Rick.
Well, I must be at work, yes.
There you go. So I go. If you want to click on that link, I'm remiss right now because I know his show's on Tuesdays, and I know it's. I think it's on the SoundCloud. You can find it on the SoundCloud for the Hidden Stash show.
You have given me enough information to find this on my own. Now I will do the research afterwards. You've got my creativity and my imagination going now.
There you go. So
we'll add all those other programs also to the listing. And those of you that are wondering what listing we're talking about, it's a listing that I compile and publish of activities that are going on in the Michigan region regarding medical marijuana or marijuana legalization issues. And I've included this time radio programs, some broadcasts, some internet-only broadcasts, so that people can tune in and check that out. And Steve has been courteous enough to repost that on Facebook, if I'm not mistaken, and that it's also on his website as well, so that those calendar of events is really getting a lot of publicity. So a lot of these events are going to have better turnout and be more successful than they were before. It's
going to be awesome, Rick. I think there's some stuff that's going to happen next year in the arena of expositions that's going to be very cool. I think this year was the first year where they had enough resources, enough businesses had gotten started to start putting these kinds of expositions on, and so everybody's gotten their practice feet. They've already done the practice round. I think next year these are going to be much better organized and a lot more detailed.
Well, here's the other thing they're also going to be a lot more profitable because people that are putting on exhibits, myself included, as many people know, as part of the Gettys, we put on a couple of different programs a year.
Right.
We've learned where to go and where not to go, where things are favorable and where they're not favorable. And those communities that have chosen to allow medical marijuana to be part of their environment are going to financially benefit from exposure to us. Ypsilanti, Detroit being primary examples. Ann Arbor's another great one, the Traverse City area. But others that choose not to accept our people in our community, Oakland County, for example, they'll get no financial benefit from our conventions and from our High Times Cannabis Cups and our extravaganzas.
They're great. They're awesome events because they connect all the people together. It's kind of like a little mini hub. It's a little resource center. It's an awesome little mini university.
Well, I can tell you, the last time I was at the Clarion Hotel, and we had a great event there, and I've been there to a couple events there. I drove through, and you have to drive past several other hotels as you're on your way to and from restaurants. I saw a lot of empty parking spaces in those other hotels. But when I went to the Clarion, I saw a lot of full parking spaces.
Right.
I saw a lot of people buying lunch there at their deli counter. I saw a lot of rooms being rented. I saw food service being brought in. A lot of people were making ancillary purchases at gas stations in the area, convenience stores, restaurants, as I mentioned. So the economic benefit of having a convention of us, just same as it would be of having a convention of Lions Clubs or of Kiwanis or of the Elks.
Right.
We all spend, so why should they look at us any differently than any of the others?
Yeah, it's exactly. I couldn't have said it better, Rick. Let's talk about we talked about the shows. Now let's talk about a little bit about the upcoming events. I know that Tony from TNT Patient Resources Center up there in Lansing has I think on the 20th. Is that the 20th that this is coming up?
The TNT show is definitely there on the calendar of events. That's actually a pretty busy weekend.
It is
that we have. There's, as I mentioned today itself, if you're in the northern Michigan area, you have a couple of different events you can participate in. The Michigan Normal Quarterly Meeting, for those of you who are normal members, is taking place in Prudenville. And then also
up there by the Houghton Lake area.
Yep, sure is. Yes, very good. And then also up in Traverse City, there's a convention, medical marijuana-related convention up there as well. And that's a big event. That's going on with a lot of sponsors. There are quite a few people up there.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the TNT event that you mentioned is going to be on 313 Kalamazoo Street, Lansing Circuit Court, 1:30 on the 22nd, which is Tuesday. And then also that same day, there's also a fundraiser for Representative John Conyers, who's our federal representative in the House of Representatives, a very big, strong advocate for medical marijuana. And he has a fundraiser going on that same day from 4:30 to 8 o'clock. And that is in Detroit.
I didn't know Mr. Conyers was on our side about this.
Mr. Conyers actually signed on to the Ron Paul bill. Can you believe it?
Wow! Whoa, that's a little newsy, isn't it?
Fantastic! It's wonderful to see someone of John Conyers' reputation and seniority,
and
because
stature.
He really is
He's
a
got
respected senior member
yes.
of the congressional staff. For him to take a step forward, and an important member of the Congressional Black Caucus, an important outspoken advocate for urban issues. And I think we're going to find that the medical marijuana thing is going to be more accepted by those people representing urban districts as opposed to rural districts as we start breaking it down and seeing who's where and where they stand.
Any other, in the near future on the calendar, any other protests or events that people want to show up and support?
No, protests, no, because we're at this point,
winter.
We don't have any protests scheduled. However, we do still have a couple of events coming up in the near future here, too. The normal quarterly meeting, as we mentioned, the Traverse City area event is the Medical Marijuana and Patient Care Conference, which is today 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Grand Traverse Resort.
Okay.
There's also a Vote Green initiative project taking place at Turtle Creek Casino in Acadie Township, which is also in the north too.
That's Ben Horner from Michigan Organic Solutions putting the Vote Green thing together. Yes.
Exactly right. And if you've ever been to one of those things, they're very educational. They love to do things like give away free T-shirts and to sign people up to get involved in being the infrastructure for what we expect to be a very busy election year of 2012. Being involved as part of the superstructure of that is an exciting opportunity for folks that are listening to the Radio 8 Show broadcast.
It is. Those Vote Green initiatives are awesome events. It's a way to get connected with your local politicians. It's a way to understand the community. They often put on panel discussions. There's all kinds of resources available for you at these Vote Green initiatives, and they're important, ever important, as we come up into the next cycle of elections, which is, the presidential cycle, which is, happening as we speak.
And immediately after the fundraiser for Conyers on the 22nd, we'll have on November 23rd, which is Wednesday, there will be the American Civil Liberties Union case in Oakland Circuit Court at 8:30 a.m. This is where they're suing Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills for instituting federal Livonia-style bans on medical marijuana within their communities. Now, the ACLU has already had one of these. They originally sued Livonia plus these other two communities. Those different cases were separated based on their county affiliations. Unfortunately, the ACLU was unsuccessful in their first-round attempt against Livonia. However, they have a shot against Birmingham and Bloomfield, which might yield a different result. So we're eagerly anticipating Wednesday's court performance. Dan Karadkin and the folks over there at the ACLU definitely know what's what, and they know how to handle themselves. So we're quite confident with that.
Well, we got that one coming up, and then I have a separate deal, and I think it's adjoined to some other cases as well that's very similar. That's my court case, and it's not a criminal case. It's also the same kind of thing. It's a declaratory relief case that Paul Tylenda and Tom Loeb are handling.
And what date is that?
Now, I don't have it. I feel in the dark about it. Every time I call and ask, it seems real vague because I think, there's a lot of formative things happening, and I don't know. But I think that's coming to fruition here very soon, too. Keep your eyes out for that because in the event that the ACLU thing doesn't get ruled on in a favorable way, then we got this one possibly. So, and
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just say there's a couple strikes at the bell that way.
Well, I wanted to say that we always wanted to keep an opportunity to stay up to the minute on our court cases because, as you mentioned, legal schedules change constantly. An emergency situation in a case unrelated to yours could cause one of your attorneys to be unavailable and therefore have to void your court date.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I absolutely hate it when we convince activists to come out to a date and they show up in that morning and it was changed the day before and they just didn't read their email or get the text, and so there was no notification because they've got all the eagerness and excitement and enthusiasm to do good, and then it's wasted. So sometimes those court dates are really tricky, so we have to be very careful about publicizing some of those unless we know for sure ahead of time. So, Steve, make sure you give us a shout on that whenever you get the final date, and we'll be able to throw it out there to see if we can get some attention on it.
I think, as soon as I know, that's the trick. Look, even when I talk to my own attorneys about this, it seems like I don't exactly know. I still feel like I walk away from that conversation not exactly knowing. I'll get to the bottom of that because I'd like to be in the courtroom the day that they rule on this. I've never been in the courtroom for any of these hearings or anything that they've done. I'd like to be there the day that they decide it, for sure.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? And I understand when motions are presented, there's not oftentimes a need for a defendant to be in the room. There's a lot of times the legal wranglings are more of an ethereal nature and definitely not of a testimony scenario. But I hate to have someone deciding my fate if I'm not sitting there listening to every word and hanging on it all.
Rick, we're going to break here. I can't stop it. We're going to break. We'll be right back. Stick with us. We got more coming on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Don't go away, folks.
We'll be right back on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Green Bee Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenience you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402.
It's the Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
I try and find some love for my pot. That just ain't enough to go around.
Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Another Saturday. Not that. It's a very short show, I got to admit. I had Rick Thompson on the phone. Unfortunately, Rick's working at Big Daddy's down there in Chesterfield Township. Working his knuckles away. Has to man the front desk. Guys came in and, took Rick away from the show. I'm so bummed out. I wanted to talk to Rick about some major stuff going on. The break comes along and pushes the guest off the air. What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you about what's going on. It's important you know. In Colorado this week, federal busts. That's right, feds going in and busting up on some Colorado places. I don't know exactly how many, but it was more than one. I think it was more than 3. I'll get the details on that and let you know. Also, Washington State, not 3 days ago, 9 places done in by the feds. That's right, 9 of them. Dispensaries. And you know what else they're doing? They're threatening all the states. They're threatening the states that implement medical marijuana legislation. If you're going to do this, you're just as guilty as they are. All you federal, all you city and state employees, you're going down. We're stuffing you in cuffs. We might raid your houses. That's what Eric Holder and the Obama administration is doing right now. Look, Mr. Obama, I voted for you. What is wrong with you? Are you just going to let the Justice Department push you around like this? What's wrong with you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now, you've done a whole bunch of stuff. I give you credit for all this other stuff, but this is just downright dirty business. Who from Big Pharma snuck into your pocket? There's something going down here. 9 places in Washington State. Oh, and then here's something else locally. A wellness center in Allen Park, 6 o'clock Wednesday evening. Done in by a local task force. Raided. What are you going to do about this, people? Are you just going to let them do this? Bill Schuette running around dismantling our law? You voted it in. You got it as a referendum on the ballot, and then you voted it in with overwhelming popularity. The polls still say that there's more popularity than ever about this. Mr. Schuette, Mr. Obama, Mr. Holder. When are you 3 stooges going to get your heads together and figure out that you're just beating up a bunch of medical people? If you need some money, raise some taxes. Cut it the F out. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox now. 9 places in Washington State. Don't you think for a moment that that's not moving its way here, people? Not for one moment. With the attorneys general, more properly put, between the U.S. Attorney General and the state Attorney General, they're in collusion. They're on the same page over this. We're going to tear you down. We're going to beat you up. Got some inside information to pass along to you, too. I'll get it to Bob to put on the website later today. Somebody at NORML, at the National NORML Organization, managed to do some infiltration and find out what the federal barrier is. What they're actually using as a litmus test for do we prosecute this case federally or not. It's very interesting, detailed information. I'm going to make it available on a mass basis on RadioWeedShow.com coming up later today. If that's contingent upon us getting a hold of Robert. Let's do that now. Since we got nobody else for the moment, let's see if we can find Bobby. I'm just going to get the voicemail. It's long and awful. The voicemail is like some long, I don't know. Do you get these guys, you got friends that you do, talk to on a regular basis, you get their voicemail, and they leave these really long, strange messages? I don't know. Maybe we'll hear it this time. Let's try the Buzz News. He's in Amsterdam, the Buzz. This is Dan, if we can get him. It's probably going to get a recording. I tried this earlier, got a recording. Internationally calling. Oh, it's ringing. Now it's ringing. Maybe we'll get the Buzz News. This is how it rings if you're in Amsterdam. The phone rings, boop. Trying to call Dan from the... Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Steve Greene from the Medical Marijuana Radio Show in Detroit.
Hey, buddy, what's up? I'm in Amsterdam.
I know you are. We heard the strange phone ringing.
Oh, right on. Cool. What's going on, man?
We wanted to just maybe get a quick update for you on what's going on with the Cannabis Cup out there. How's things going out there?
Oh, man, everything is awesome. But I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yeah.
So far, what I've seen in the coffee shops, the Michigan weed scene's got better, hands down, better weed than what I'm seeing in the coffee shops.
Really?
Yeah, we got a guy. We were lucky enough to spend the day yesterday with Ed from Delta 9 Seeds, and he's got some pretty good herb that he's going to be getting us later on this evening. So,
what time is it in the Netherlands right now?
6 hours ahead. It's 6:51.
Wow, so you're almost 7 o'clock on a Saturday there.
Almost 7 o'clock on a Saturday. We just came back in for a power nap, and we're going out to Barney's Farm, the Barney's Seeds coffee shop where Barney's Farm is at tonight. It's the High Times pre-party, whatever, commencement party.
The Grease Down party.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going there with Ed from Delta 9 Seeds, so we're hoping to get, respected properly and get our smoke on is our big deal.
I tried calling you before the show started to see if you were going to be available, and I got this strange recording saying, you can't call this number in this country at this time. I'm like, really?
Oh, you know what? I think that was from, because my battery was dead, I just got it charged back up.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it probably did that when it was dead and it wasn't ringing.
Well, hopefully it's not costing you a bunch of money for us to call you or whatever over there.
I did a thing where I got the World Traveler plan, so it's only like 50 cents a minute. It would have been $2 a minute, but 50 cents isn't bad.
Hey, if you're paying $2 a minute, there better be a chick on the other end of the line or something,
Yeah, right. $2 a minute, I better be getting something off that.
1976 what?
Yeah, so lots of falafel. I'm finding that falafel is the cost-effective way for dinner around here.
Really?
Yeah, and since I'm vegetarian, it's either, usually when you go to fancy cities, it's either pizza or falafel if you're doing it on the poor man's budget.
Pizza or falafel, huh? That's what they got out
pizza
there.
Pizza or falafel, yeah, that's what.
Tell me, do they have
way to eat?
Do they have a falafel pizza? That would be kind of fun.
Oh, falafel pizza. I haven't seen one of those. Maybe, yeah, that'd be good.
Hey, if that's the two mainstays, why not put them together? Don't screw with what works.
Right, don't screw with what works, exactly. So we did come across some pretty decent, which I've never seen in the States, some real Grinspoon.
Wow.
From Dr. Grinspoon. Oh, man, and it is, I don't know if you can hear the crowd behind us.
You can't get away from that cough, can you? Tell them to lay off
I don't care how far you fly.
Lay off the strawberry cough in the background. We can't hear anything.
Right.
What was the?
Yeah, everything. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, what's the favorite thing you've seen out there so far? Because the High Times event is still a little ways off, isn't it? This coming weekend.
Yeah, we don't start. We were setting up the booths and stuff today. We were over there. We just got back from there. I'd say the best thing. Well, I guess it depends on what level. From a personal level, I think the coolest thing I've seen is that hardly anybody uses a motor vehicle. There's so many bikes over here, you can't believe it.
Well, it's a small place, it's a little speck on
everywhere.
the map.
Yeah, and you know what? There's just bikes everywhere, and I'm trying to get used to the ding ding, like the little bell sound that when you were a kid.
Right.
So that's how everyone tells you to get out of their way. And I hear it, it's just not clicking. Get out of someone's way, and right back to you.
It's a little culture shock, isn't it? A little culture shock.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a little bit both ways. I had a guy last night jealous of my beard down on the streets. He was, oh man, he had a big beard, and he says, "That's not a beard. This is a beard." And I pulled out my dreadlocks and I put him to sleep.
Oh my God.
I pulled out my dreadlocks and whipped them around all his friends' dogs on him after that, so that was pretty funny.
What's your favorite thing that's happened out there? Is there a favorite medicine you've tried out there since you've been? Is there something
the Grinspoon, the Dr. Grinspoon. It looks weird because it doesn't fill in, so it's kind of hard to spend €15 a gram for something, and then you see it again, and you're once you have a couple puffs on it, though, you definitely remember why you spent the money. It's superb sativa. And then Ed from Delta 9 Seeds, he grows he's manufactured a strain called Fruit of the Gods, and that's a pure sativa too. That stuff's quite delicious.
Well,
we're moving right up.
You'll have to bring us back some sample seeds from up there. Are you going to bring us any tourism packs from over there?
Absolutely, for entertainment purposes only, of course.
That's right.
For the collectors, whoever collects seeds, absolutely. That's one of our main goals over here. You know, it's always been one of my goals to get the state of Michigan, just flooded with the best genetics around. That way, the patients aren't getting cheated out of their medicine.
Well, Dan, what you should do is you should forward some photographs that you're taking out there. I'm sure you're taking all kinds of pictures. You should forward some photographs, and we'll put them up on the website of your experience out there in Amsterdam, and people here in the States can live vicariously.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll definitely get that going. Do you have a pen over there? Right there, I see a pen. Let me get your email.
It's really simple. It's really easy. It's steve@radioweedshow.com.
steve@radioweedshow.com. That's pretty easy. Okay.
And it looks like we're coming up on our third break here. So if you want us to call you back, or if you can hang on, I'd like to keep you in the next segment. If you got to go, I understand that, but we're running the break right now.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and just call me back as soon as the break's over, and I'll gladly give you another 5-10 minutes.
You got it. We'll be right back at RadioWeedShow.com.
More of your calls next on the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. The Medical Marijuana Radio Network.
The Greene Collective.
Hey, medical marijuana patients, it's time to discover what all the buzz is about in Ann Arbor.
The Greene Collective.
The Greene Collective is busy making sure your patient needs are met with high-quality, locally grown meds.
The Greene Collective.
Get to know the information, the research, the benefit available to your condition.
The Greene Collective.
Weekly specials in just minutes from downtown Ann Arbor and I-94.
The Greene Collective.
The details are sweet at mmmgreenbee.com. Call 734-929-2553 now. If you are a carded Michigan medical marijuana patient with a need for safe access but have reservations about privacy and discretion, there is an answer. It's the Ant Farm. The Ant Farm is Metro Detroit's trusted professional mobile transfer service. Write this toll-free number down, 888-369-3320. Lab-tested, mold and pesticide-free. It's the Ant Farm's convenient you'll try, but quality standards, privacy, and friendly professionals that will bring you back. The Ant Farm comes to you. Call for discreet details right away. 888-369-3320. The patient's place for medical marijuana and safe access is Third Coast. Beautiful downtown Ypsilanti is where you can get safe, affordable access to education and materials concerning your specific needs, and quality products designed to meet your exacting needs. It's the Third Coast, 19 North Hamilton in Ypsilanti. Convenient hours, friendly, professional, compassionate. Call Third Coast today, 734-487-5402. That's the Third Coast Compassion Center in downtown Ypsilanti, 734-487-5402. Hey, Steve Greene here for the Medical Marijuana Certifications at AMMP. They're the American Medical Marijuana Professionals. You'll find them just north of Utica Road on Gratiot in Roseville. Their address is 28349. Now, call-ins are welcome, but you're better off calling for an appointment. They have a toll-free number, 877-RX-420-99. That's 877-RX-420-99 for American Medical Marijuana Professionals. That's AMMP on Gratiot in Roseville. I love this song.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Medical Marijuana Radio Show. Just about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The last segment. It's the shortest segment of the entire show, ladies and gentlemen. I normally give you the number to call. I'll do it anyways. It's 810-423-2350. Likely won't have much of a chance to get you on because we're talking with Dan from the Buzz News. He's out in Amsterdam at the High Times event, getting ready to cover the big Amsterdam event. You can get a hold of Buzzed News at buzzednews.com. That's BUZZEDNEWS.com.
Newspaper, how can I help you?
Hey, there he's back. We got you back on the other side of the commercial break, Dan.
Oh, awesome.
So I was just telling people they could get a hold of you at buzzednews.com. That's www.buzzednews.com. Hopefully we can, you'll sometime soon you'll get a regular, an online version of your publication. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, like I said, we're working on doing an online publication. We do have the past issues that are downloadable in the PDF format, so those are always cool just to have hanging out on your hard drive.
Hell yeah.
And then, but pretty soon we're going to have that, and then we're going to have like a live update, 4 or 5 times a day. Anytime you see anything coming off the wire, no matter what part of the world, we're going to be able to access it on the Buzz News website.
Man.
So,
and you're just all over the place, aren't you, Dan? You're just like everywhere. Off in Amsterdam, up northern Michigan. Now you're down here. Boy, where's Buzz? You need a Where is Waldo thing, like a Where is Waldo type thing. Put it on the back of the
Buzz News.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're out here digging up the truth for everybody. We want to know what's going on, and we think our people, our readers, need to know the truth about everything, and so that's what we're doing. We're trying to establish ourselves as, somebody that's well respected in the industry across the board, not just over there in the Mitten State.
Well, it looks like you're catching some attention there, Dan. I think it's a badass thing.
Yeah, thanks. Awesome.
We were talking about maybe getting you on as a regular contributor to the show. I think that would be really cool. We were also maybe talking about putting together a discount card. I think that's an awesome idea. I think our listeners would be really amped to participate in getting a Buzzed News Radio Weed Show card, so that they could go out and get their discounts at your local, wherever they carry the Buzzed News discount. They'll put a sticker in the window or so. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, me too. I think that's going to help both of us a lot, and then the most important, it's just going to help the people out. They're going to show their loyalty, and the loyalty is going to be rewarded, and that's what this is about.
People deserve their just desserts for sure. Desserts. I can't even talk today. This show is so short. Look, we got like 5 more minutes and we're out. So usually I got like a 4-hour show. I can just yammer on forever, but this is all timed. It's all segmented. It's the way we do things for radio. So we get downline stations, they know when the breaks are.
Right.
So that's
yeah.
when.
So we're looking forward to tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff planned. I'll tell you what, we're hanging out with the lighter guys. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Those Made Lighter guys are awesome. Lighter. Those are really cool.
Oh man, you don't even know. We've been hanging out with these guys like family for the past couple days. And Buzz News supports this lighter, endorses this lighter as officially the coolest lighter that's ever been around.
Really?
I got
to get me some of those.
The grinder is fantastic. They just came out with this high-class, high-end, beautiful grinder with it's the biggest grinder on the market, man. And I'll tell you what, they're going to kill it. They're here kicking ass and taking names. They're looking for an international cup win on best new product.
I think so.
They took it in Michigan. I think they're going to do it though with their little combo here.
Is OG Worker Bee out there? Did they travel to Amsterdam?
I did not see the Worker Bee booth out here. Lots of seed companies, which is what I'm here for.
Right.
So I'm glad to see that. There's a couple strains that just I feel like need to make their way over to Michigan.
Well, hey, what I was going to say, how when people come to New York City, they get they go into the tourism shops and they get themselves a little Statue of Liberty, or they get some, the Empire State Building, or some kind of insignia that says they were in New York City. Can you bring us back some kind of little swag from there? That's maybe I don't know. I don't care if it's a stupid matchbook from a local, a local.
Oh, absolutely.
Shop.
We'll get you something. Absolutely. We'll take something up. I'll tell you the funniest shirt we've seen. It was the silhouette single print of a lady's legs spread open, kind of laying on her back. You could see her butt and her knees kind of bent up, so kind of made an M shape with the crotch of the lady being dead in the middle.
Oh, good
bright
Lord.
Yellow on red, and it says on the bottom, "I'm loving it." Amsterdam, for the red light district.
So she had like an M. It was like her legs were shaped like an M. Is that what you're saying?
Well, like the way her body was, if you can imagine a girl laying on her back, bending up her knees, and then spreading her legs and putting her feet on the floor from the foot to the knee to the crotch area.
Yeah, right.
It's
the M.
Yeah, so it's just the M and a silhouette. It says "I'm loving it" with Amsterdam underneath.
Oh, I bet you the people at McDonald's Corporation are cringing as we speak.
Oh yeah, I bet. So that was pretty funny. That was the funniest shirt we've ran across so far.
I'm so jealous of you, Dan, from the Buzz News, hanging out there in Amsterdam, rolling around with the High Times guys and the guys from Made Chicago. Are they out of Chicago? Is that Made Lighters?
Mate's out of Texas. Yeah, Mate's out of Texas. So, yeah, they're definitely representing. These guys are worldwide, though. I'm sitting here with my jaw on the floor. They're making calls to China. They're making calls to this place, talking about, okay, we're moving into Japan. We got Canada covered. I mean, we're talking about big-time guys here, and we're just, just so thrilled that they let us into their world for a little while. We can report on all this stuff and get a personal feel, of what's really going on over here in Amsterdam. This is the tourist edition, you know what I'm saying?
You'll have to get us a contact. The show music's playing for the show close already. We're already at the end of the show. You'll have to get us a contact, Dan, for the guys at Made Lighters so we can advertise their stuff. I think that would be pretty badass. I'd like to get some Made Lighters,
awesome.
maybe in the swag bags to give away with some of the Buzz stuff and with some of the other stuff that we got.
Absolutely. Cool.
So the show's closing out. Thanks, Dan, for coming on the show. Go kick ass and take names and represent up there in Amsterdam. We love you for coming on.
All right, brother. You guys have a good one, man. Free the weed.
We'll be looking forward to some pictures from Dan. Thanks a lot, Dan.
Yep.
Oops, we cut off Dan. Sorry about that, Dan. You could be on the show next week because this show's over. Join us at RadioWeedShow.com. Hopefully this time next week we'll be back on 1310 a.m. Detroit's Progressive Talk. And Denise, where the hell are you? Come back, Denise. We need you, Denise.
The Medical Marijuana Radio Show and RadioWeedShow.com are trademarks. Copyright 2011.